Every year, the best NFL team is decided by the Super Bowl, but today, it'll be decided by a game of King of the Hill. The rules are simple. The Kansas City Chiefs will start on the hill as they are the defending Super Bowl champions. In each round, a new team will try and dethrone them through a head-to-head match. If the defending team wins, they get to steal one player from the losing team. However, if they lose, they will be eliminated, and the new team will be allowed to boost one player on their roster by 3 overalls to help them defend the hill. All teams boast their updated rosters, including free agent acquisitions and recently drafted rookies. I am now left with one question. Will Kansas City be able to defend their spot as the NFL's best team, or will your favorite team be the last one standing? Let's give the wheel of NFL teams a spin to see who is going to be the first team to try and knock off the Chiefs. It looks like it's going to be the Tennessee Titans, who are without Derrick Henry for the first time, but at least they have DeAndre Hopkins and former Chief L'Jarius Sneed. And it was the Titans who were able to score first with this nice 9-yard touchdown run by Tony Pollard. But you can never count out Mahomes and the Chiefs as they quickly answer back with this really nice touchdown pass to one of his receivers. The Chiefs end up scoring once again, and all the pressure's on the Titans. Unfortunately for Titans fans, Will Levis throws it to his tight end, but he is stopped short of the first down. The Chiefs go on to defeat the Titans, eliminating them from the competition and going on to steal DeAndre Hopkins to give Mahomes a true number 1 receiver. Who will Kansas City take on in round 2? It's the Panthers, and they should win this one. Even though the Panthers kicked a couple field goals early, Mahomes and that offense were able to score just before halftime to take the lead. They once again found the end zone thanks to Isaiah Pacheco, and even though the Panthers kept this game close, Mahomes connected with Travis Kelce to extend their lead. And through 2 games, the Chiefs remain undefeated, but they still have a long road ahead. So hopefully adding Derrick Brown to their defense will help them achieve that. Spinning the wheel, and it looks like the Cleveland Browns are up next, and they will be the Chiefs' toughest opponent yet. The game kicks off with a bang as Nick Chubb breaks a tackle and finds the end zone for the first touchdown. Patrick Mahomes then threw an interception in the red zone, which led to the Browns scoring another touchdown to extend the lead to 11. As we jump ahead to the 4th quarter, the Browns lead by a score of 28-17, and on 3rd down, Mahomes throws another interception. The Browns hang on, securing the win and eliminating the Chiefs from the competition, making them the new Kings of the Hill. As the attacking team, the Browns do not get to steal a player from the Chiefs roster, but instead, they get to boost one player by 3 overalls. They decided it was best to bring Nick Chubb from a 96 overall all the way up to a 99 overall. If a team wins 5 in a row, they will also get to upgrade a player by 5 overalls. The Browns' first match will be against the Minnesota Vikings. This is a pretty even matchup after defeating the Chiefs. JJ McCarthy hikes the ball and throws an absolute beam to Jordan Addison for the first down. He then went ahead and found Justin Jefferson for a nice gain before handing it off to Aaron Jones, who punches in for the first score of the game. The Browns failed to convert on 4th down in the red zone, and the Vikings were able to close this game out. Browns' time at the top of the hill did not last very long, and they are now eliminated from the competition. The Vikings decide to upgrade Jordan Addison from an 82 overall to an 85 overall with that win. Who will try to take down the Vikings? It's gonna be the Commanders. Aaron Jones and the Vikings were able to move all the way down the field, and with very little time left on the clock, the field goal attempt is up, and it's good! The Vikings knock off the Commanders to remain the Kings of the Hill, and after looking at the Commanders roster, the Vikings decide to help their defense and steal Jonathan Allen, which will hopefully help them defend their position. The Vikings barely won that game against the Commanders, so they better step up their game, because they take on the Steelers. With time running out for the Steelers, Justin Fields was faced with a long 4th down. He hikes the ball and tries to connect with his receiver, but he gets knocked away. The Vikings went on to close this game out, remaining the Kings of the Hill and obviously stealing away TJ Watt to upgrade their defense. And right into the next game, they have to take on the much improved Chicago Bears, led by number 1 overall pick Caleb Williams and that incredible receiving core. Even with all that firepower, it was the Vikings who got on the board first with this touchdown pass to Jordan Addison. Caleb Williams tries to answer right back, but ends up throwing an interception to the Vikings secondary. Unfortunately for Bears fans, their defense was just not up to the test as the Vikings put up more points on the board to put this game out of reach, eliminating the Bears from this competition to remain the Kings of the Hill and electing to steal away Keenan Allen to boost their offense. Hopefully giving JJ McCarthy another weapon will help them remain undefeated, but now they go up against a very good Bengals team. Joe Burrow will go up against JJ McCarthy, and it was all the Bengals in the first half, with Burrow connecting with his tight end for the first touchdown of the game, and follow that up with another quick pass to recently acquired Mike Gesicki to take a 17-0 lead in the first half. It was much more of the same in the second half, and the Bengals end up winning by a score of 31-13, dethroning the Vikings as the Kings of the Hill. The Bengals elect to upgrade Joe Burrow from a 93 overall to a 96 overall, which should definitely help them defend the hill. Now that the Bengals are the new team to beat, they have to take on a very good Cowboys team. And to my surprise, the Cowboys were all over the Bengals in the first half, but late in the game, trailing by 8 points, the Bengals were making a push down the field. Unfortunately for Bengals fans, Zach Moss was stuffed for a 1-yard gain on 3rd down, forcing the Bengals to punt the ball. Dak and the Cowboys were then able to pick up multiple first downs before kicking a field goal to extend their lead by 2 possessions. And the Bengals spot as the Kings of the Hill was short-lived, and now the Cowboys take their spot, upgrading Dak Prescott from a 90 overall to a 93 overall. We know Madden loves the Cowboys, so let's see if they can stay undefeated for a long period of time. They have to take on the Arizona Cardinals, which shouldn't be a tough opponent. Cardinals are trying everything they can to cut the lead in half, but after 3 straight sacks, Kyler Murray ended up throwing an interception to Deron Bland. With this victory, the Cowboys eliminated the Cardinals from this competition, and this was a no-brainer for the Cowboys, stealing Buda Baker to strengthen their defense in hopes of remaining undefeated. Fairly easy win for the Cowboys, and they are now going up against the Raiders. Although they have Max Crosby and Devontae Adams, the rest of the roster is fairly weak. This wasn't the start the Raiders had in mind, with Zeke getting the Cowboys on the board with his rushing touchdown, and then Dak keeps it for himself and takes it 21 yards for a touchdown. Heading into the 4th quarter, the Cowboys put the game out of reach, with Dak Prescott throwing a dot over the middle for another touchdown, easily eliminating the Raiders, stealing away Devontae Adams to give Dak another receiver to throw to. The Dallas Cowboys attempt to continue their undefeated streak, but they take on the New York Jets, led by veteran Aaron Rodgers. With both teams scoring points, Zeke takes the handoff and was able to break off not 1, but 2 tackles and ran the rest of the way for a 59-yard touchdown. Trailing late in the game, the Jets are in the red zone and are faced with a 4th down. Rodgers hikes the ball and throws it to the end zone, but it gets picked off by Trayvon Diggs. And the Cowboys went on to win their 4th straight game to remain Kings of the Hill. They opted to steal away Sauce Gardner to help their secondary, and now are just 1 win away from upgrading one of their players by 5 overalls. To spin the wheel of the remaining teams to see who are going to try and take the Cowboys down, it's the Baltimore Ravens. Definitely their toughest opponent yet, and it showed as Dak ended up throwing a costly interception in the 4th quarter, which led to the Ravens taking the lead with this pass from Lamar Jackson to Mark Andrews, taking it 63 yards for a touchdown. The Cowboys didn't have an answer, and the Ravens went on to defeat the Cowboys 31-17. The Cowboys' time in this competition ends, and the Ravens are the new Kings of the Hill. With that big win, Kyle Hamilton is upgraded from an 88 to a 91 overall. The Ravens have to go up against the Philadelphia Eagles in their first game defending the Hill. These are 2 very good teams about to face off, and late in the 4th quarter, the Eagles had a 4-point lead. If they score a touchdown here, they will win this game. Jalen Hurts takes the snap, and he connects with his tight end for a 3-yard touchdown, sealing the win for the Eagles. And just like that, the Ravens are replaced with the Eagles as the Kings of the Hill, and they decide to upgrade Jalen Hurts from an 87 overall to a 90 overall. Let's see if that'll help them remain Kings of the Hill, but they have to take on a pretty good Seahawks team. The first half saw the Eagles scoring early with a nice pass to Devontae Parker, but Kenneth Walker answered right back with his short rushing touchdown. With a 6-point lead, the Eagles are on defense. Dino hikes the ball, and Darius Slay comes screaming off the edge to force a fumble, and Jalen Carter picks it up. Will he have enough speed to make it to the end zone? And he does! Taking a 19-7 lead. The game ended with the Eagles winning and remained Kings of the Hill. As for a player to steal from the Seahawks roster, DK Metcalf is the best option, and he will now help the Eagles try and defend their spot on the hill. Next, they have to take on the Indianapolis Colts. Have a solid roster. It's the Eagles who find themselves trailing early as the Colts score 2 rushing touchdowns, one by Anthony Richardson and the other by Jonathan Taylor. The Eagles were able to cut the lead down to 7 points in the second half with this beautiful pass to A.J. Brown. And on their very next possession, Saquon takes the handoff and easily scores a touchdown to tie this one up. The Eagles continue to pour on the pressure and finally take the lead with Saquon punching it in for 6. One last drive for the Colts offense. Richardson fails to connect with Alec Pierce, and now the Colts are faced with a 4th down. He hikes the ball, waiting, he chucks it up, and it gets knocked away. The Eagles hold on, knocking the Colts off the hill and electing to steal away Quentin Nelson to beef up their offensive line. I'm actually having a lot of fun watching these teams battle it out, so if you are enjoying this video, make sure to hit that sub button so I can continue making more videos like this. The Philadelphia Eagles try and continue their dominant run as Kings of the Hill, facing off against a New England Patriots team led by Drake May. In a one-sided affair, the Eagles crush the Patriots, scoring multiple times and decisively knocking them off the hill. No brainer for the Eagles as they elect to steal away Matthew Judon. No team has won 5 straight games yet, and the Eagles can do that here as they take on the Green Bay Packers. With Jalen Hurts and Jordan Love leading their respective teams, the Eagles come out strong, scoring early and maintaining their momentum throughout the game. As we fast forward all the way to the fourth quarter, the Packers trail by 10 points. And even though Josh Jacobs was able to find the end zone to cut the lead, the Eagles moved all the way down the field, and Kenneth Gainwell was able to score a touchdown to put this game away. The Eagles remain undefeated, and since they won 5 straight games, they get to upgrade one player by 5 overalls, and they elected to upgrade Saquon Barkley from a 92 to a 97. On top of that, they get to steal away one player off the Packers roster, and they are bringing over Jair Alexander. Plenty of good teams left, and it looks like the Eagles are going up against Miami. The Dolphins showcased their speed early in the game, with Jalen Waddle making a catch for 36 yards. Miami capitalized on their momentum, scoring on their opening drive with the help of Raheem Mostert. And after that, the Dolphins kept their foot on the gas, scoring multiple times, ultimately winning the game, and the Miami Dolphins claimed the throne to become the new Kings of the Hill. And with that win, Jalen Waddle is upgraded from an 87 to a 90 overall. Let's see if they can go on a run here as they take on the Rams, who are without Aaron Donald as he announced his retirement from the NFL. The game remains tied up until the fourth quarter, with the Rams in prime position to secure the win. However, they failed to pick up a first down and had to settle for a field goal. Tua leads a clutch drive for the Dolphins, connecting with Jalen Waddle for a touchdown pass to take the lead with just under a minute and a half on the clock. Despite a last-minute effort from the Rams, Matthew Stafford's pass is intercepted by Javon Holland, sealing the victory for the Dolphins. And with that win, the Dolphins remain Kings of the Hill, eliminating the Rams from the competition. They decide to steal away Tre'Davious White from the Rams roster. After knocking the Eagles and the Rams off the hill, they now take on the Denver Broncos. And did we really think the Broncos would have a chance? The Dolphins scored at will, winning this game 30-11, easily eliminating the Broncos and electing to steal away their best player in Patrick Surtain, who will now be joining Jalen Ramsey and Trey White. The Dolphins have remained Kings of the Hill for 3 games so far, but their next opponent is the 49ers. If I had to guess, I'm giving the upper hand to the Niners here. Christian McCaffrey's impressive run for a touchdown gave the 49ers an early advantage, setting the tone for the game. The Dolphins were able to answer back with this perfect pass to Tyreek Hill in the end zone to cut the lead to 3. And as we fast forward to the fourth quarter, the Niners were about to kick a field goal to take a 2-possession lead, but they ended up faking it, and Jake Moody connected with George Kittle in the end zone for a 5-yard touchdown. That was such a bold strategy. The Dolphins cut the lead to 7 points, but it wasn't enough as the Niners go on to win 21-14. And just like that, the Niners upgrade Brock Purdy from an 85 overall to an 88 overall. And more importantly, they now take the Dolphins spot as the new Kings of the Hill. After spinning the wheel of the remaining NFL teams, it looks like they're going up against an easy opponent in the Giants. And it was a pretty boring first half until Daniel Jones threw an interception to a Niners defender. On the very next play, Brock Purdy connects with George Kittle, who swerves his way through a couple defenders and scores the first touchdown of the game. Unfortunately for Giants fans, they were not able to get another stop, and the Niners barely hang on to sneak out the victory, eliminating the Giants from the competition and stealing away Dexter Lawrence. The Niners have to take on the Texans, who are led by CJ Stroud, and this was a back and forth game until the fourth quarter when the Niners were down 7 with one last drive to tie it up. With the time ticking, Brock Purdy throws it away on 4th down, and the Texans are your new Kings of the Hill, upgrading Derek Stingley Jr. from an 87 to a 90 overall. And for their first opponent, they have to take on Jacksonville. The game started with CJ Stroud connecting with Nico Collins for a touchdown, giving the Texans an early lead. However, the Jaguars quickly responded with Trevor Lawrence finding Gabe Davis for their first touchdowns as teammates. As we fast forward to the fourth quarter, the Texans managed to maintain their lead and secure the victory. They remain Kings of the Hill and steal away Josh Allen to beef up their linebacker core. Hopefully that addition will help them overcome their next opponent, and it's going to be the Bills. And it was all Bills in the first half, with Allen connecting with Curtis Samuel for a touchdown, followed by a James Cook rushing touchdown, and then a bullet of a pass to Dawson Knox. But the Texans started the comeback, and with a chance to tie the game, Stroud hands it off to Joe Mixon, who finds a hole and takes it to the house to tie this game up. With just under 2 minutes to go, Allen is able to get his team down the field, but on the next play, he decides to keep the ball for himself and takes a big hit, causing him to fumble, and the Texans recover. What a costly mistake, as CJ Stroud was then able to hit Joe Mixon in stride for a big gain, and then Joe Mixon takes the handoff and goes all the way for a touchdown, and the Texans somehow win this game. Josh Allen sold so hard. The Texans remain Kings of the Hill and elect to steal away Von Miller to help their defense instead of bringing over Josh Allen. The Texans have a pretty good shot to win this competition. They have to beat the Buccaneers. And Baker Mayfield came out slinging it, and before the Texans could get it stopped, he threw a laser to Trey Palmer for the first score of the game. The Texans were down with 3 with under 1 minute to go. CJ Stroud hikes the ball, steps back, and launches it down the field, but it gets broken up, sealing the win for the Bucs. With this win, the Bucs are the new kings of the hill. The Bucs decide to upgrade Antoine Winfield Jr. from a 92 to a 95 overall. I really thought the Texans were going to go undefeated the rest of the way, but now the Bucs take on the LA Chargers. Despite missing key receivers like Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, Herbert showcases talent by connecting with Quentin Johnson for a touchdown pass and leading his team to a commanding 17-point lead in the first half. The Chargers defense was playing lights out, getting big stops, and after simming the remainder of the game, the Buccaneers were unable to mount the comeback, which means they are eliminated, and the Chargers claim the throne as the new kings of the hill. Oh, and with that win, they decided to upgrade Justin Herbert from an 87 to a 90 overall. The Chargers now have to defend their spot on the hill to the New Orleans Saints. And honestly, the Saints roster has some pretty good superstars, but I'm not sure it'll be enough to beat the Chargers. Skipping ahead to the fourth quarter, Herbert and the Chargers have a 7-point lead and are working their way down the field once again. Instead of kicking a field goal to take a 2-possession lead, they decide to fake it instead. Carr immediately makes them pay by getting his team down the field with some nice passing before throwing to the end zone where Cedric Wilson was there to make the catch for a touchdown. And they're going for 2 here to try a win. Carr hands it off to Alvin Kamara, who punches in for the 2-point conversion. The Chargers do have all 3 timeouts, and Herbert takes a check down on first down. But on their very next play, Herbert steps back and throws a corner route to a wide open receiver who gets a huge block from Johnson, and he takes it the rest of the way for a touchdown. And that right there was enough to defeat the Saints, eliminating them from the competition, and the Chargers elect to steal away Marshawn Lattimore to help their defense. Only 2 NFL teams left, and the wheel lands on the Lions. This should actually be a very good game, and it was indeed, with the Lions scoring on this slant route by Donovan Peoples-Jones and converting on a 2-point attempt to tie this game up. After the Chargers retook the lead with a field goal, Stafford was faced with a 4th and 7. Steps back and throws it over the middle to Amon-Ra St. Brown, who makes the catch but fumbles it as he takes a big hit, and it's recovered by the Chargers defense. What a close game this was, eliminating the Lions and elect to steal Amon-Ra St. Brown to give Herbert a #1 target final game against the Falcons. Justin Herbert with his new look Chargers going up against Kirk Cousins and the Atlanta Falcons. And this game couldn't have started off any worse for the Chargers as Herbert takes a sack and fumbles it at his own 13. The Falcons were easily able to score with this rushing touchdown by Bijan Robinson. The Falcons were able to score once again, but by the fourth quarter, the Chargers fought their way back and now lead by 3 points. After taking a sack on second down, Kirk Cousins decides to hand it off to Bijan Robinson, who doesn't pick up enough for the first down. They were able to tie the game up with this 29-yard field goal. As the game clock was ticking down, Herbert and his offense were marching down the field with this beautiful pass to Amon-Ra St. Brown, who picks up plenty of yards after the catch. A couple plays later, Herbert hands it off to Gus Edwards, who runs to the right side and scores a touchdown to give the Chargers the lead. Kirk Cousins then connects with Darnell Mooney for a 21-yard gain, and he followed that up with another nice pass to Rondale Moore. On their next play, he fakes the handoff to Bijan Robinson, and he tries to throw deep, but he gets intercepted by Marshawn Lattimore. And the Chargers hang on to win the game and are crowned champions of this King of the Hill competition. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out NFL Imperialism, that legends are back on their former teams.